Hey guys, I'm back with the Divine Feminine Oracle deck. I'm laughing because of a blooper that I may post a little later. This is the actual deck, that was just a box. I'm going to shuffle and thank Danny and Vanessa from Sovereign Love. I'll link their page down below. I highly recommend you check it out. They're awesome, the page is awesome, it's good stuff. They got me this deck for my birthday to help me connect more with my Divine Feminine energy. For those that don't know, we believe that everyone has feminine and masculine energies in them. What we believe masculine energy to be is action, logic, a stoic sort of strength. And feminine is more intuition, it's nurturing, and it's a flexible strength. So that said, I've been very action-oriented. I've been very direct. I'm like a direct communicator. I'm very blunt. I've also been single for quite some time, and I recently decided that I'm ready for a partner. So I've been calling a partner in, which is basically spiritual talk for, I asked the universe or God, universe, I'm ready. I'm, open to that happening. So they made a good point that I agree with, which is if I want a masculine partner, which I do, then I need to create the space for more masculinity in my life. And that can't happen if I'm so much in my masculine. So this deck is going to help with that. And on that note, Mira Bai, the Saint of True Freedom. Love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. Married to my own soul, she says. All right. I'm going to read a little about her and get back to you. Okay, I'm back. I've read about Mira Bai, and I've made some highlights to share with you all from the book and provided. And in case you don't want to hear about it, you can totally skip ahead. There will be bookmarks down below. Mira Bai embodies a love that lets us do what's right for our own lives, no matter what others might think. She was born a princess in the late 15th century who unwillingly married a crown prince of Muar, but she considered Krishna to be her true husband, and I believe Krishna is a form of God. Legend says her husband's family tried to kill her several times for defying the social customs and expectations of a wife. When your soul selects this card, often without even realizing it, we make choices based on external expectations, on how we think other people will perceive our actions. Mira Bai is about doing what's right for you and no one else. Mira Bai is about standing up for what you know is right, even if others will judge you for it. The fear of being prosecuted can convince us not to be true to who we really are. There's a love, though, that's far larger than human constructs and cultural values. Love isn't ethical. Love isn't bound by any idea of what's socially acceptable. Love is what sets us free from the expectations that bind us. Love, in whatever way it finds us, asks us to stay loyal to our own soul. Love asks us to look at what really matters to us and at what we truly value. And love asks us to bravely defy expectations in order to be true to ourselves. Love wants us to marry our own soul. I very much identify with this card. Most of my life, I've been someone who's defied expectations and a lot of times didn't even understand why the expectations were what they are. Societal norms and things like that, conditioning. I was born a very sexual child, sexually connected to that energy. Very early on, I honestly can't remember a time where I didn't discover or know what sexual pleasure was. And so I was that kid rubbing up on everything all the time. And of course, my parents were like, absolutely not, this is not okay. And they shunned and shamed me, as most parents do. And I quickly learned to hide it. And when I started going to school, I remember checking in with my peers of like, are you touching yourself? Is this a thing? Like, am I? And, it was, of course, met with, oh, we're not supposed to talk about that. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no. So I continued hiding it. So here I am, a very loving child who just wants to be everyone's friend, not understanding why it would be met with people outcasting me and bullying me. And I remember vividly thinking, why would people not want to love each other? Like, if we all just love and uplift each other, the world would be such a great place. Man. And, of course, now looking back and understanding a lot more psychology, I did study psychology as well. I have one of my degrees is in that. I understand that people have their traumas and their conditionings and, capitalism and wanting to push each other down to get higher up, which is so, let me not get into that. So I continued, hiding it and hiding myself and compartmentalizing, and then I reached high school, and I remember in high school there were so many outcasts, and I said to myself, well, if there's so many outcasts, why don't I just collect them and we become our own group? This is exactly what I did. I would go from class to class and I would introduce myself to the kids who were sitting in the back all by themselves, and they'd be all shocked that someone's talking to them, and I'd be like, yeah, bro, like, or sis, come, like, or human, come. Well, that wasn't a thing then, but come, I have a group of people I can introduce you to. We don't have to be alone. We can stick together. And it's funny that that's coming up for me now because I have stepped into another social construct recently where I'm noticing that it feels very high school. The guys are with the guys and the girls are, I would say with the girls, but actually the girls are women, I should say. The women are kind of just on their own and not really connecting. And I think that has a lot to do with the patriarchy, I hate to say, but women tend to be catty and jealous of one another and have a hard time connecting in those kinds of constructs. So I have been reaching out to women, and I've been befriending a lot of women and talking to them about that. And a lot of them, most of them actually, say the same thing, which is like, I don't understand why the other women are not being nice to me. We can also be a thing, like the guys have the guys club, kind of what I call it. And why don't we have that? And so I'm now in this place of working on deconstructing whatever it is that is holding women back, so that we can be solidified and be a group. Anyway, the reason I bring all of that up is because I'm defying constructs by doing that. And another thing that it brought up for me is the construct of, well, what I was talking about earlier is wanting a masculine partner. It also brought up for me how I said that I want a masculine partner. And I do believe that everybody has masculine and feminine. And when I say I want a masculine partner, I do not mean that I don't want a partner that doesn't also connect with his feminine. Just like I am very much in my masculine right now, and I'm working on bringing more feminine in, I would like my future partner to be comfortable and connect with his feminine as well. I believe that, I'm going to bring it up, toxic masculinity. That what that means is men who deny their femininity and deny the, emotional intelligence and softness and other aspects that are necessary to be a healthy human, right? Toxic masculinity is like no crying and no feeling feelings and bullshit like that, which is not what masculinity is, because that's a thing that's happening now. I'm noticing people are like, toxic masculinity is not a thing. No, it is, but that doesn't mean that that's what masculinity is. Not all masculinity is toxic. Anyway, I digressed a little, I think. Point is, I actually want a more balanced partner, which is exactly why I am aiming to become that myself now. And that's actually what brought me into my masculine before, is I had gotten out of a relationship and realized that at the time I was like, I need masculinity in my life. Like, what am I going to do? I can't, I'm a woman in this world. And I was like, I can be that for myself. I can be everything I need for myself other than social, right? Like, other than the social aspect, I need people to fulfill that in my life. But other than that, I can do everything myself. And so I went into my masculine very hard and have been doing that for a very long time. And now I want to balance back into feminine, and I want to find a partner that is also balanced and maybe a little more masculine, as I will be a little more feminine, and that's just a preference. And so to tie that back into the card in case it wasn't clear, all of this that I'm talking about, in my opinion, being a balanced human is not the norm. Toxic masculinity has become such a big thing because a lot of men were raised to be toxic. They don't know better. And I have a lot of empathy for that. And same thing with women. Toxic femininity is totally a thing as well. And that's why I'm working on what I said earlier about bringing women together to heal. I mean, I didn't say it in that way, but that's what I meant, right? Like that we don't have to be catty. We don't have to be jealous and competitive. We can uplift each other, and that will create healing individually and as a group. And one of the ways to do that is to be more balanced. Anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this card or my reflections or how I applied it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I love you.